Very good afternoon, everyone. How is study going? So this is our 8th class. What we are doing here, we'll discuss monthly wise 30 important questions. We have started from April 2022. Now this is November 2022 ka current affairs we will be discussing today. So one shift I need to tell you, like we started this initiative from January. From January, what we are whole focus almost in every class I have told you that don't rely too much on solving question with tricks. Don't rely too much on this jugaad way of solving questions. So that is because that time was more important for building your knowledge base. If first time you are reading something, that time also you are thinking about trick, man, that's not going to work. After having a base, very strong base, then only you can apply whatever the application level of, then only you can build something over it. Now this is last 2 months we are approaching the exam. It is time you should make that transition. Now whatever questions you are solving, even though you don't know the question, try to apply your knowledge. Try to gain some, what is the insight. Especially whatever subject you are revising, keep PYQs, at least last 3-4 years PYQs in hand. Have a look at what kind of questions are coming. Even though you don't know exact answer, how can you solve this? Do this for every subject you are revising, keep the PYQ side by side and do this practice for every subject. Okay. We'll move on to today's discussion. Same format. Take few seconds and answer these questions. Okay. What is answer? Have you reached the answer? C. Question is about Vijayanagara Empire. Every now and most of the alternate year you are getting some question with this. So what is basic knowledge you have about Vijayanagara Empire? When it was, what was the time period? 1336. Even though at least if you don't know exact date, rough time period is 14th century to 16th century. And who founded it? Haryana and Bukka. And how many dynasties were there? 5. At least first one was Sangama. Sangama was the first dynasty. Total there were 5 dynasties. Last one was Nayakas. First one was Sankamas, then Suluva, then Tuluva, then Aravidu and Nayakas was there. They are also considered part of this. Now, who is the most famous ruler of Vijayanagara? Krishnadevaraya. And what all you know about him? He is scholar of, he is scholar of which language? Telugu. He promoted Telugu language and he has written books in Telugu as well as Sanskrit. Which is the famous book? So, these basic knowledge you must have. After that only you can go to solve it. Which dynasty he is related to? Tuluva dynasty. So once you have this basic knowledge, now try to answer this question. It was founded by Haryana and Bukka of Sangama dynasty. Very straightforward question. Very basics of Vijayanagara Empire. You should be, if you have gone through the NCERTs 1-2 times, you should be very easily identifying this. First statement is correct, so I am eliminating. B cannot be the answer because there is no first statement. Now recently Statue of Prosperity has been unveiled of Krishnadevaraya for founding Bangalore. Where this Vijayanagara Empire is based in? It is in Hampi. It is in northern part of Karnataka. And Bangalore is such a big city. If Krishnadevaraya, we read a number of things about him. He wrote this book. He promoted this. His scholars in his court was these people. So we learned so much about Krishnadevaraya, and Bangalore is such a big city. If he has founded the Bangalore city, we might have come across it. Otherwise, it's fine, seems like a very exotic option. So there is more chance, even if you don't know the exact answer, more chance this option can be a wrong statement. Come to third. Amukta Malyada work on statecraft was composed by Krishna Devaraya. This is of course a work of Krishna Devaraya. This also basics from NCERT you will get. So what is the answer here? Second option is wrong itself. And who founded the empire? क्या नाम? हाँ, Kempe Gowda. He was, who was he? Like governor of Vijayanagara Empire itself. He founded the Bengaluru city, not Krishna Devaraya. So what is the answer? C, correct answer. Firstly, answer the second question. हो गया? बताओ क्या आंसर है? क्या आंसर है? A. और कुछ ऑप्शंस? C, 1 and 3. Who? What is the answer? और कुछ ऑप्शंस है? You are saying A. All are saying A. So what is the first one? Kumara Sampam. He is written by Kalidasa. What are other famous works of Kalidasa? Most famous work is Abhijnana Shakuntalam. Or there is Raghuvamsha. Then Kumara Sampava, that is here. Then there is Meghaduta. These are four major. All these are dramas. Three major, then poetries are also there. Yes. These all are written in which language? Sanskrit. Now, what is the time period, rough time period of Kalidasa? Which time period it will be? 4th century BC. Who was the rulers? AD or BC? Then who is the rulers during this period? Chandragupta. Go ahead. Ramacharita who written this? It's not by Surda, it's very common. It is written by Tulsidas. What was the rough period of Tulsidas? 16th century. Who was ruler during this time? 1550s, that was the time. Akbar was the ruler. Akbar, Jahangir, that time period, Mughal dynasty time period was going. Mahabhasya, who written it? It is written by Patanjali. What is the book about? Panini's Ashtadhyayi. It is a treatise on Panini's Ashtadhyayi. What Panini is famous for? Ashtadhyayi. What it is about? Basically, it is related to Sanskrit grammar. At least these, like you are learning about Patanjali or Panini, time period of these people are not too much important. Why? Because there is no exact date. There is no exact clarity to it. But if you are studying about Bhakti saints or Sufi saints, do have a check on who was the ruler during his or her time. What was the time period? What was the hierarchy of these? Then have just a simple clarity. So what is option for this? Two options are correct. Ramacharita is by Tulsidas and Mahabhasya is by Patanjali. So answer is one only. A is the correct answer. Go ahead, answer the third question first. What is the answer? Yeah. Yeah. Consider the following statement about Mangrove Alliance for Climate MSC. It is an initiative led by UAE and Indonesia, launched on sidelines of G20 summit of 2022. What is toughness of this question? Too many factual, very hardcore factual, and these facts are also mostly derived from current events or current happenings. If you read this, you can relocate, identify the options. If you don't read it, it's very difficult to apply some kind of logic to this. Second option, it pledges growing 100 million mangrove trees around globe by 2030. One thing you can notice, there is an exact fact in this statement. Third option, it is an intergovernmental alliance which works on voluntary basis with no members accountable. What do you think about this statement? Voluntary basis matlab there will be no binding targets. Even if you don't know the exact alliance, you can more likely to take this as right statement. Why? Because if you look at how these climate agreements are changing, we are moving from binding targets to voluntary targets. What is the example? In 2000s we have this 2000s, which is the most famous binding agreement, Kyoto Protocol. In क्या बोल रहे हैं? In 2000s, I am saying there was Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol is based on what? It was giving binding targets to Annex B countries. Now from that system, from by 2010s, we have reached a system where no country is given very strict targets. Here what is the idea? In Paris Agreement in 2015, every country has to keep a ambitious target for itself. The country itself will decide this. India has come up with its own INDCs. Now after 5 years there is a review and country will revive it. There is no binding targets, there is no penalty if there is strict penalties if this is not being followed. In Kyoto Protocol there was strict penalty. Countries were withdrawing from Kyoto Protocol, like Canada withdrawn from it because strict penalty was imposed on Canada. Now this is the general trend of climate agreements is going on, and this statement is very much in line with it. So even if you don't know exactly what this XYZ is, you can take this as a right statement. Now to identify this statement, it is very difficult because the countries are UAE and Indonesia. UAE, you hardly expect mangrove initiative, but this is a correct statement. It is an initiative spearheaded by UAE along with Indonesia, and it was launched on sidelines of G20 Summit 2022. G20 Summit. G20 Summit 2022 was headed by Indonesia. From Indonesia, it came to India. Now next it will go to not UAE, Brazil. 3 countries are called like Trioca. This factual statement is not correct. There is no such 100 million tree targets in under this mangrove alliance for climate. So our answer here is 1 and 3. At least you should be able to identify A cannot be the answer, because that is not something, unless you exactly know there is such a provision under this agreement, you should take this statement as wrong, because this is against what is the general trend in the sector. Go ahead. Yes, it is part of that. It is only launched as a part of G20. It is part of this outcome of COP27. Answer the 4th question. क्या करना है? Increase करना है. हाँ. ठीक है? 26 रख. Yeah, answer the 4th question. क्या आंसर मिला? क्या आंसर मिला? डी. ए. और कुछ? क्या कंफ्यूजन है? करेंसी स्वैप एग्रीमेंट, व्हाट इज दिस? What exactly it is happening? What is the mechanism? Sri Lanka was going through BOP crisis few years back. Now with Sri Lanka, India signed something like 500 million currency swap agreement. What exactly does it mean? Currency swap agreement with Sri Lanka. What Sri Lanka was exactly facing, it doesn't have enough dollars to buy what is the essentials, crude oil or whatever essential required for economy. It doesn't have dollar to buy this. So 500 million, either India can give 500 million US dollars. Then Sri Lanka can use this US dollars and repay this in Indian rupee, or even repay this in Sri Lankan, whatever currency is there for Sri Lanka. So you will be giving in one currency, taking back in another currency. Such an agreement, loan agreement, is called currency swap agreement. What is the advantage of this? Sri Lanka is in a very bad situation. If Sri Lanka go to the market to buy this, take loan of XYZ amount, Sri Lanka will not get it. Even if they get it, they will be by very high cost, because the country is going through BOP crisis. It will not repay, so it will be very high costly loan. So instead of not going through the open market, countries will offer within whichever currency Sri Lanka want. Even this can be offered in Indian rupee also. If Sri Lanka want to import from Indian market, then this also can be given in Indian rupees. Then they will repay in another currency depending on the provisions of the agreement. So it is kind of a loan that will be repaid in another currency. So look at this statement now. It is a loan given by one country to another in foreign currencies. This can be a right statement. There is nothing wrong in it. The interest rate are high compared to global average, as these loans are approved faster. These loans are not approved faster. These loans, these are not typical loans. This only comes into picture when a country is really in need of this. So you cannot write, country cannot apply for these. Only those friendly countries will come up and deal with this. So this statement is logically incorrect. First statement is correct. Correct answer is one only. Go ahead. Answer the fifth question first. The interest is there with a part of it, part of this agreement. Interest should be low, huh? Compared to like global average interest, it is comparing lower interest country can get the dollar or whichever money. Yes, it is also same type of agreement. India, Japan can use forex money from forex India to some extent, 75 billion, something like that, right? Forex, it depends on who is signing. Even companies can sign this. So if central banks are signing, forex can come to part of this currency swap agreements. Question number 5. What is answer? B. Batao which one is correct? Rizangla, where it is? It is in Jammu Kashmir along line of actual control. This along LAC around in Ladakh itself. So first option is correct. Second option, Baltal Valley, where it is? It is not in Himachal, it is in Jammu and Kashmir itself. All these are we already shown so many maps. All areas where this Chinese incursion is happening, or India-China, some conflict is going on, all areas along Ladakh region, all areas along this Arunachal Pradesh region. Locations of this region you should be very clear with. Download the most detailed map and read XYZ regularly. What is this? Kalatop Kajjar Wildlife Sanctuary. Where it is? It is in Himachal Pradesh, Champa district of Himachal Pradesh. This statement is also wrong. Machu River, Chamba, CHMBA. Now what is? Where is this? Machu River? Can be correct. It is in Gujarat. That bridge was collapsed into this. That's why we put this option. Ancient bridge was collapsed in this river. It is in Gujarat running into this run of Kutch region. What is other famous river that is running into run of Kutch region? Luni is there. Banas. Banas is also there. Check करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. So what is answer for this? This is in Gujarat. This is also wrong. Mahi. Three statements are wrong. Bas. Only one option is correct. One pair is correct. A is the correct answer. Go ahead, answer the. How you are studying this location? Location based question. Every year there is 1-2 questions from this location. Most these questions are coming only from current affairs. What is current some events? That bridge collapsed on this river. That's why this option is here. In exam also something has happened in last 1-2 years. Some tunnel has been opened, some new road has been constructed. This has been happening regularly. Keep a 1-2 page where all these occasions are there. Where is? Very tough. More answering is becoming more tough. Otherwise you can eliminate 1-2 options. Then you can go for guess. This means game become more tough. You need to know everything. Now learning these kind of questions only have one option. Yes. Overall the answering process become more tough with pairs question also. What you can do this is make single page source of all the locations you are getting from test series, from notes, from newspaper, everywhere. You think this location is important, make it note down in 2-3 pages every locations. Then 2-3 बार revise करो before going to exam, 1 day before the exam पढ़ो, जाओ, then forget. इतना ही हो सकता है. इसका ऊपर सभी लोकेशन सभी रिवर पकड़ के नहीं बैठ सकता. एंड इसमें भी एक चीज इंपॉर्टेंट है, वन वेरी बेसिक फैक्ट्स यू शुड बी वेरी अवेयर ऑफ. लाइक इंडस का मोस्ट ऊपर रिवर कौन है, ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछा आपको गलत होना नहीं चाहिए. या गंगा का लेफ्ट बैंक ट्रिब्यूटरी है, राइट बैंक ट्रिब्यूटरी है, इसमें कुछ गलत स्टेटमेंट आया. दिस आर वेरी फंडामेंटल क्वेश्चन, इसमें गलत नहीं होना है. बट वेरी स्पेसिफिक लोकेशंस लाइक दिस, कीप ए नोट फॉर 5 पेज 3 पेज, putting all the questions you can think which is important for the exam from all the sources, then revise it 2-3 times and finish it. Go ahead, answer this. B. Any other suggestion? 1 and 3, totally opposite. You can connect this with any of the current events. Sharm el Sheikh, where it is? What happened there? COP 27 of UNFCCC happened. So this statement you are absolutely sure you are wrong about. Which all options we eliminate? Now we are left with two options, A or B. Now any other options you can connect with any of these current events? Phnom Penh, that is in Cambodia. What happened here? 19th ASEAN Summit, Indo-ASEAN Summit. Last year happened in Cambodia. What is Dar es Salaam? Where it is? Where it is? It is in Tanzania. What is specialty of this area? What is this IMT trilat? Trilateral exercise between three countries. Which are the three countries? India, Mozambique and Tanzania. This happened in Dar es Salaam, which is in Tanzania. This statement is correct. This statement is correct. Now, Mauna Loa volcano, where it is? It is in Hawaii Islands. What is specialty of it? It erupted recently. It is one of the biggest active volcanic region in the world, and it erupted also recently. It is in Hawaii Islands. Where is Hawaii Island? In which ocean it is? It is in Pacific Ocean, not Pacific. Okay. Which are the three countries part of IMT triad? India, Mozambique and Tanzania. So answer here is B, that is 2 and 4 only. There is no, this is for India, Mozambique and IMT is for India, Mozambique, Tanzania. Trilateral exercise. Trilat is for trilateral exercise. Here it happened now. Go ahead. Answer the 7th question. First answer, 7th. What is the answer? Or kuch? Let everyone answer. Let everyone answer. Then we will discuss. D. और कुछ बताओ और कुछ. First statement is India has world's second largest coal reserves. In coal reserves, what is India's position? India is second largest producer and 5th largest reserves is in India. Who is the largest producer of coal? Producer is China, not reserves I am asking. Largest producer is India and China in coal. This statement is saying India has second largest reserve. Reserves India's rank is 5th position. This statement is wrong. Gypsum is a byproduct of flue gas of desulfurization used in coal powered. Exactly correct statement. What is desulfurization? Removing sulfur from the coal. Why sulfur is being removed? Two reasons. One, it produces SOx. Yes, it produces SOx if sulfonated coal is being burnt. SOx is a greenhouse gas, pollutant, all this. What is peat coke? Few years back, Supreme Court has banned the import of peat coke. Why peat coke is being import is banned? It is what it is. It is exactly a fuel. What is specialty of it? It is cheap and dirty. Cheap and dirty means it is the last byproduct if you get after the petroleum liquefaction. And dirty means, so last product, its energy content is very less compared to this petrol, diesel and all this. So that's why it is being available for cheap. Dirty means it is creating huge amount of pollution. It emit large amount of all greenhouse pollutants, including all this NOx, HOx, all this. Not NOx, SOx and carbon monoxide, all these products. So Supreme Court banned the import of peat coke, and it is a byproduct of oil refining process used as fuel in coal power. Exactly correct statement. So what we are left with, first statement is very factual and a wrong statement. Second, these are very simple statements. If you are, at least go through the basic environmental textbooks. Your answer is B, 2 and 3 is correct. Go ahead, firstly answer the 8th question. What is option? You are saying answer is B. बताओ बताओ और बताओ. Everyone is saying B. You are saying in Ministry of Education नहीं कर रहा है. What exactly is Kashi Tamil Sangam? Sangamam. What exactly is this? 7-day cultural, intercultural promotion program. Who has done this? Basically 2400 Tamil people were brought to Varanasi for these 7 days and do the tourism promotion and all this. Which ministry is exactly undertaking this? It is not Ministry of Culture, it is Ministry of Education is taking this initiative plus other ministries. There are other ministries a part of it, but it is done by Ministry of Education itself. So this statement is right statement. Even though you have tendency to go for Ministry of Culture, it is an initiative undertaken by Ministry of Education itself. What question is this? There are two different culture ministries now. They are different independent ministries now. Cannot one ministry can, how can it come under another ministry? Temple has been built by Cholas in 10th century AD. Very tough question. If you don't know, you don't know. Cholas are patronages. Who they patronage? Even you cannot guess because this Kashi Sangam may be Shiva temple. Cholas are also a patronage of Shiva. Shaivites temples are built in Tamil Nadu by Cholas. So you cannot do this, but this exactly is built by 12th century by Pandyas, not by Cholas. This is a wrong statement. Masi Magam is an annual festival celebrated in this statement. This is a very current affairs statement, exactly correct. So answer here is question number 8. What is answer? 2 is the wrong statement, 1 and 3 is correct. C is the correct answer. Go ahead. Cholas are also part of Tamil Nadu. They are all in one region. Answers. Chera is more like Kerala part region. Answer the 9th question first. क्या बोला? A. A बोल रहा है, B बोल रहा है, और कुछ है? How you can answer this even if you don't know exact data? One is postal ballot facility in Lok Sabha elections are available to which of the following? First option is government officials. Because this exactly was used for years for government officials. You might have, if you have somebody in government office, he might be doing this. So this is like 100% you should be sure about. Any other options we can eliminate? C and D is gone. Now we are left with A and B, two options. Now you can get confused in this. PWD are a part of it because these are all recently added or recent developments depending on. But NRI, this is in news. NRI government is trying to provide an voting facility to them. But whatever the government is thinking is not postal ballot facility. NRIs will be staying in some other countries like USA or some other country. They are not going to send your postal message from there. So if NRI's government is thinking of making them vote, that is not through postal vote. So this cannot be part of your answer. 2 is not here. We are left with only one option, that is 1, 3 and 4. If you exactly know this data, then you answer it correctly. But even if you don't know exactly, you should have somewhere read that government is thinking something like NRI is also voting into voting system. There is system like some other trusted person will come and vote instead of NRIs. Or if or other system is electronic means should be provided to them. Whatever it is not postal ballot. Postal ballot is for other people's. Voting with this postal system. You send your vote and in this and send it to this election office, whatever it is. Service voter, what you are asking? Leave it. Answer the next question. We all discuss this after the class. How many schedules are there in Indian Constitution? बताओ क्या है? क्या? सब ये बोल रहे हैं? What if how many schedules are there in Indian Constitution? 12 schedules. What is first schedule about? First schedule is at least this 12 schedule, whatever it is, you should be aware about. First schedule is about territory, state names, all this data. So if a new state is coming, territorial XYZ is changing, new name has to be added in this. Or if a state is becoming union territory, you have to still add here and minus here and all this. So something will happen to first schedule. What is second schedule about? Second schedule is about salaries, privileges, emoluments of vice president, president, governor, all this. Third schedule, oath and affirmations. Fourth, Rajya Sabha seat allocation. So if a new state is coming, will fourth schedule be affected? It should be affected because seats are allocated to Jammu and Kashmir. When it becomes union territory, number may remain same, but there may be some XYZ changes. Fifth schedule, tribal areas, tribal administration, all these are associated with. Seventh schedule, okay? Center-state relationship, subjects, how it is divided and all this. What is eighth schedule? Eighth schedule is ninth schedule, batao. How many languages are there? 22. Ninth schedule batao, ninth schedule kya? All this, if something is kept in ninth schedule, it is not subjected to Supreme Court checking after this basic doctrine and all. Now, but it is judicial review is applicable to everything, even something is added in ninth schedule. But if something is added in ninth schedule before the case and by the verdict, then that is wo law mein judicial review may not be applicable. What is 10th schedule? Anti-defection law. 11th schedule and 12th schedule? panchayat and municipalities. So at least one schedule, fourth schedule will be compulsorily impacted if a new state is being formed. What is option left here? A is the best correct option. Go ahead. Why this question came? That is going on with respect to Ladakh. Two things are going on. One thing is some part of the Ladakh is demanding statehood. It's been 3 years. They have been continuing as union territory. Now give them full statehood. There is demand for that. Second demand is more important from polity perspective. What is it? Include Ladakh in the 6th schedule. So these two demands are learn everything about 6th schedule because it is in news in the very recent past. Go ahead. Answer the 11th question first. Okay. Should be an easy question. A, D और कुछ है? B. Which of the following cases are related to reservation provided under Article 15 and 16 of Indian Constitution? What is most famous case for reservation? Indira Sahni case. Which year it was it? 1992. This case is also called OBC reservation case or famously Mandal case. What are exactly provisions? What was the legal question? 27% of the reservation was given to OBCs in public employment as well as educational institutions. This was questioned. This is against constitutional validity. This is against principle of equality. This was being questioned. And what exactly the verdict was? This was not against principle of equality. This is applicable within the constitutional limits. Now there was some but conditions given. What are the conditions? There should be a 50% limit. If you are breaking 50% limit, then you are breaking the principle of equality, then you are breaking the principle of merit, then you are creating issues. So total reservation should be within the 50% limit. What is the other condition? If you are giving reservation to OBCs, give reservation but exclude the creamy layer. And it was said to the government to define the creamy layer and do the data collection so that the creamy layer will not get these benefits. Only intended societies or communities will go to, benefits will go to. This was all the provisions under Indira Sahni case or Mandal case famously. Now what happened in next famous case? M. Nagaraj case in which year it is? (2006). What was M. Nagaraj case about? क्या? What is most important famous verdict of this case? Non-creamy layer so far has been only applicable to OBCs. This is a concept that is even brought for this OBC reservation issue. But this verdict क्या किया? It extended this creamy layer concept to SC and STs. SC and ST should also get this creamy layer. Some income XYZ base should be kept and otherwise others should be excluded. What is other very critical provisions judgment of this? Critical provisions of this judgment? There were conditions given under which state should give the reservations. And what are these conditions? Backwardness of SC STs. State should, if your state is giving reservation to SC ST or any specific communities, state should prove this backwardness. State should prove this backwardness with respect to general community or any other community. This XYZ community is backward. It is responsibility of state to prove this. Secondly, there should be inadequacy of representation. Inadequacy of representation of what? That community in administration, in government jobs, in everything. Then state has to prove that whatever the reservation policy has been implemented, this is not compromising the meritocracy, efficiency of the administration. Administration works are not impacted by this reservation. All this state has to prove. State has to prove means state has to go and collect data. State to go and collect data and prove before implementing the reservation policy. So this is like principally very great judgment. Even though you are expanding the creamy layer concept, then you are giving objective criteria for giving reservations to different communities. Principally this was a great judgment, but no government is going to an extent to even extend the creamy layer to SC/STs. Even today it is not extended. So it is from implementation point of view, this is lagging. Now what is the third judgment? That is Jarnail Singh judgment. What happened there? Consequential major seniority that is given to SC and ST was questioned. Promotion related to SC/STs. They were given faster promotion with these consequential majority provisions. So this was questioned under this Jarnail Singh case, and Supreme Court held that that is even constitutionally valid. There is no such big issues with this. In this condition also, Supreme Court relaxed certain conditions and state doesn't have to do too much of work. There has been some relaxation provided on this. These all are historic cases. You should get it from Lakshmikant book. Now, what is the recent development? That is Janit Abhiyan versus Union of India case. What the case is about? Tell me what the case is about. Janit Abhiyan versus Union of India case. This is about economic weaker section reservations. What is economic weaker section reservations? 103 Constitutional Amendment Act, amended article, which are articles? 15 as well as 16. Both these articles has been amended and state now has the responsibility to give 10% with a cap of 10% reservation to EVS. And if what is EVS, state can decide. That is not provided in the constitution. What is EVS, state can decide, but state has the responsibility to give this reservation. Now, on what basis this has been questioned? There was one criteria, one state judgment in this Indira Sahni case. That is, when this Mandal Commission came, Mandal Commission did two things. On one front, it gave 25% reservation to OBCs. On second phrase, what it does? From the general caste or from the non-reserved caste, it gives 10% reservation to economically poor people from the non-reserved caste. These both things were contested in the Indira Sahni case or Mandal case. The judgment came in favor of OBC reservation, but the other reservation, that is the 10% reservation for poor people from the higher caste or non-reserved caste, that was nullified by the Supreme Court. And what was the rationale given for that? Economic condition cannot be the only reason for giving reservations. Reservation is not a poverty alleviation policy. Reservation is something to balance the historical injustice that happened to the community. Due to this historical injustice, this community is still in a weaker footing or no level playing field is there. So this is what is reservation policy is about. It is not about poverty alleviation. If you want a poor person to give him facilities, bring in other XYZ. So this was the Indira Sahni case judgment. So EWS is somehow based on economic criteria. So the one argument was, this was against the whatever the Indira Sahni judgment is. Economic criteria cannot solely be the reason for XYZ. Now what was other arguments? The other provision of this Indira Sahni case was total reservation cannot move beyond 50%. If it is moving beyond 50%, then it is violation of principle of equality and principle of meritocracy. This was again contested in this. Third, there was one more legal question. What was it? Income criteria is like executive action. Wo government can change here, and there is no constitutional question in this. What was the demand? Suppose one person is poor. Now, based on this person is poor, you are giving him reservation. Now here you are giving another criteria. If it is from reserved category, then this EWS reservation is only applicable for, not applicable for if he is eligible under any other reserved category. You are taking poor, take all poor. Why you are avoiding this reserved category poor from this list? So you are keeping a separation that is not constitutionally valid. This was also being contested. And what was the Supreme Court verdicts about? First one, the economic theory, that is economic criteria cannot be the only reservation. What was judgment about? Supreme Court said that DPSP talks about economic justice also. Economic democracy is also part of constitutional democracy. So economic can be if a provision that is also a responsibility of state to provide whatever XYZ to the poor person to empower him. This is not completely unconstitutional. On second front, this 50% breaching the 50%, what was the Supreme Court comment? 50% is not a constitutional number. Constitution nowhere it is written 50% reservation can only happen. So this is something decided by the Supreme Court and it is not non-violable. Like you cannot violate it, there is no strict provision or there is not even a law regarding it. It is only a Supreme Court verdict in XYZ case. So and in extreme, like some examples, these are already violated. Where some Tamil Nadu it has 69% reservation condition. So some state it is already being violated. So this is not such a big criteria to invalidate a constitutional amendment brought by the parliament. Third, for poor people, this is Supreme Court position was they are already enjoying reservation provisions under other laws or under OBC reservation, under SC/ST reservation. So there is no need to bring them also into this ambit of EWS. So this was the position of Supreme Court in what case? Janit Abhiyan versus Union of India case. Go ahead. All these are related to reservation policies. Answer is all of the above. Answer the 12th question first. Okay. Glyphosate is related to D or kuch? B. It is a preservative used for packed food products. Any other? A. It is a herbicide used to kill weeds. There has been a plea in Supreme Court to ban endosulfan is there, but a category of herbicides. What is herbicides? Herbicides are chemicals that is sprayed to kill the weeds. What is problem with herbicides? There are two reasons. One, ecologically, it cannot discriminate between this is a good plant, I will not kill this, this is a bad plant. It will go and kill everything and it will affect the ecosystem. But Supreme Court plea is not regarding ecosystem concern. Supreme Court plea it is filed based on right of health of farmers. Like the endosulfan case. Farmers' health are being compromised because of these chemicals we are not banning and still used in India. So regarding this plea has been put in Supreme Court. And what Supreme Court did? Supreme Court asked government a report on what is the status of this. And in this report and as a part of the action, government recently regulated the use of this chemical. What is its name? Glyphosate. It is a herbicide used to kill weeds. Government has regulated or controlled the XYZ usage of glyphosate. It is a herbicide exactly. Go ahead, answer the 13th question. हो गया? लेंथी क्वेश्चन है। बताओ क्या आंसर है? रीड करो अच्छे से। Which of the following statement is incorrect? क्या आंसर है? बी बोल रहा है। और कुछ? सी, ए, ओनली वन बचा है। What is Manrega about? Any adult member can be part of it. What is it provide? 100 days of what kind of guaranteed employment? Unskilled, mostly unskilled employment. One adult per household. There is no criteria like BPL. Even if APL, you can still apply if you are giving XYZ eligibility. Except there is some issue with the statement. But otherwise, there is no condition that you should be exactly a BPL. Even if you are an APL, you can apply under this XYZ scheme. Yes, yes, yes. Understood, understood. Go ahead. Unemployment allowances are given if work is not provided within 30 days of demand. There is a provision, unemployment allowance are given to the worker if job is not provided with n number of days. It is not 30 days, it is 15 days. This allowance is paid by central government. It is not paid by central government. It is responsibility of state government. So, fourth one is Yukta Dara portal. This is a current affairs statement. If you read some more, you should be aware of this. This is a portal exactly for facilitating Manrega asset. It will connect with GIS based data, tagging and everything will be there. So answer here is 1, 2, 3 is correct answer is A, but the statement is have some vagueness with this. I accept this. BPL families are eligible for under this scheme, but there is no strict condition that the family should be BPL. Even APL members can also be part of this scheme. Go ahead. Answer the 14th question. क्या आंसर है? Question number 14. Why this is in news? Recently, the third summit of this XYZ happened, and Prime Minister given a speak on those. No money for terror initiative. Ministerial conference on counter-terrorism financing was held. Consider the following statements. The conference was first held in New York post 9/11 attack. Is it correct? You are saying this is too old data. Too old data, such a data will not come in the paper. This initiative, No Money for Terror, 2001. This initiative was formed in 2018. It is an initiative spearheaded by which country? Not USA, France. So after this Charlie Hebdo incident, this initiative was spearheaded. Now this first statement is wrong. India hosted it 2022 summit. Is it correct? It is correct statement. So answer here is B2 only. Go ahead, answer the 15th question first. Sovereign green bonds. बताओ क्या आंसर है? 15 था ना? क्या बताओ बताओ? C. Sovereign green bonds. What exactly is this? It will be bonds raised. Exactly, it will be the amount that is raised will be invested in renewable energy, energy efficiency, these kind of projects. First statement is the proceeds from the bonds will be deposited in Consolidated Fund of India. Bonds means it is a debt instrument. This is similar to a debt which is raised for exactly spending with specific spending objective. So any debt which is raised by Government of India will go to the Consolidated Fund of India. There is no change with this also. First statement is correct. The proceeds can be used for nuclear power generation. Problem here is even though this proceeds from sovereign green bonds, it will be invested in projects for renewable energy, energy efficiency, etc. But few industries are excluded from this. Which are these excluded industry? One is nuclear power. Then there is direct waste incineration. What does that mean? Incineration means burning at very high temperature and in presence of oxygen. Incineration is in presence of oxygen. There is two different processes. What is the other one? Pyrolysis. Pyrolysis is in the absence of oxygen. Incineration is in the presence of oxygen. And why we are not allowing this? Because it generates so much of this greenhouse gases effects and all this. Then alcohol, weapons, tobacco, gaming, palm oil, all these industries are not part of these sovereign green bonds. Hydropower larger than 25 megawatt are also not part of this. Hydro larger than 25 megawatt. These bonds will be eligible for statutory liquidity operations. Is it correct? It is absolutely correct. Recently RBI allowed this for SLR as well as repo operations. So correct statement is 2 is the wrong statement. 1 and 3 is the correct answer. Answer the 16th question first. And this is a concept we discuss so much. Classes and okay, क्या आंसर है? सी डी बोले और क्या डी? We are confusing in this. कितने टाइम हम क्लास में डिस्कस किया है? What is friendshoring? We have globalization. What is globalization? Basic idea is open trade. Open trade means free flow of goods and services as well as capital. If possible, human ideas, everything should free flow. That is the basic objective of globalization. Now, if an investment is done based on globalization ideas, what is the primary criteria? That is efficiency of production. If a goods can be produced in India for 10 rupees, from other country for 8 rupees, then all investment will be done in that country, because that goods XYZ, whichever it is, can be produced cheaper in which country. So that will be the only criteria when an investment is based on open trade principle or globalization principle. Now it is with this principle China has grown so much. China has acquired so much investment because it has cheap labor, cheap power, cheap other land, Other factors of production were made available very cheap by the government. So due to this, production in China was very cheap from 1990s. Due to this, they acquired huge amount of investment, and with this investment, they become global powerhouse of manufacturing. Now, what is problems facing? China is facing making strategic issues with USA or strategic issues with advanced countries or Western world. Now these are creating conflicts. If all world supply chain is so much dependent on China, strategic issues are coming into picture. Some example also we have discussed. Which one it is? China has issues with Japan over this Senkaku Islands. And China during 2000s, even now also have absolute dominance over rare earth elements. So what Japan has very strong electronics industry, and this was totally dependent on rare earth elements from China. After these issues getting vulnerable from over the Senkaku Islands, China stopped sending or delivering these rare earth elements to Japan. The Japan whole electronics industry collapsed, and it took many years to recover to the old level, to reach back to the old level. So China is what is doing? One, it is becoming too big that whole supply chain is dependent on it. Second, it is doing. Secondly, what it is doing? It is doing militarizing of supply chain. With respect to Australia during COVID, like phytosanitary measures were put on it. So many XYZ activities China is doing by using its dominance over the supply chain. So Western world now is saying we cannot continue with the old model of economic system we are having. We need to move beyond the only efficiency system. And what is the next system? Don't invest just blindly based on efficiency. Invest on countries which you can trust with, which you can trade with, which you can hope that for long term this country will be within your zone of interest. And this, with this objective, a new organization is formed. What is called? Organization, which one it is? IPEF, Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. The greatness of this organization is it is not just another grouping. It is propounding an idea that is completely opposite to what whole the Bretton Woods or Western organization has been speaking till now. It is speaking something that is totally different. And this basic idea is called friendshoring. That is moving the supply chain from China or from countries that is not friendly to you towards the countries which are friendly towards you. Here answer is C is the correct answer. Go ahead. Answer the 17 question first. Okay. Seventeenth है ना? Very easy question. बताओ. It is about scheduled commercial banks and payment bank. But you are saying B. बताओ और कुछ option है? Everyone is saying B. बताओ बताओ. Confused with? Payment scheduled commercial bank and payment bank are registered under Banking Regulation Act. Not a correct statement. Only scheduled commercial banks are there in this Banking Regulation Act. Confirm है? Check करना पड़ेगा. Then keep this on hold. Keep this on hold. Scheduled commercial bank and payment bank. ठीक है. Scheduled commercial bank and payment bank need to maintain CRR and SLR ratio. Is it correct? Both has to keep some amounts, but all the numbers will vary. It's not the same numbers. RBI can give separate numbers for payment bank and separate bank numbers for scheduled commercial bank. Now, scheduled commercial bank and payment bank dispatch loans based on priority sector lending. Is this correct? How can it be correct? Payment bank is not doing any lending. Payment bank is not lending. It is only keeping your investment and spending it. It is priority sector lending. It's speaking about lending. That is not applicable on payment bank. Some institute it is not lending, then there is no concept of this PSL error. 3 is wrong, all is wrong, 1 and 2. Only 2 is the correct answer. Go ahead, spending too much. Answer the 18th question first. This we discussed in current affairs classes. You have to check this. Answer the 18th question. बताओ क्या आंसर है? Question number 18. B बोल रहा है सब. Coronal holes. Why we are discussing this? Because NASA came up with some image. Very interesting image. I think we have this. This image with sun as a face. And these dark spots. What is this dark spots? These are coronal holes. What is it having? What is the temperature profile? These are areas of comparatively lower temperature in the surface compared to the brighter areas. Then secondly, why this is happening? Exact reason is unknown, but one reason is there is intense magnetic activities, magnetic field changes that is happening in this XYZ region. Due to that magnetic field, some flux changes is happening due to this XYZ. Coronal holes are being formed. Smiling, yeah, that was this interesting image. It was a little bit famous due to this. Answer the 19th question first. How to answer this question? What is the answer? Nutrient based subsidy scheme. What exactly is this? Depending on how much is the nitrogen, phosphate, sulfur, depending on percentage of this, you decide the subsidy. Rest, everything that is happening in the fertilizer subsidy is applicable here also. Only the rate of subsidy is decided by different kind of nutrients. First statement, the scheme provides subsidies to the fertilizers like XYZ. This is exactly the definition of nutrient based subsidy. Take this as right. We already lost 2 options. Now we have to decide on this. The subsidy is transferred to farmers' bank account under DBT scheme. How this fertilizer subsidy is working? It is given to companies who are manufacturing the XYZ. Farmers only come into picture, like some POS machine will be there. If farmer buy this, then this amount will be transferred. That is the only role of farmers. No direct money is given to farmers in fertilizer subsidy. Wrong statement, but not much use. Urea, the most common consumed fertilizer, is not a part of this. Very much correct statement. We have other urea subsidies. NBS subsidy में urea को involved नहीं किया. Correct statement. 3 is correct, but again we cannot eliminate. The scheme is implemented by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Here you should know that there is always a ministry for fertilizers and chemicals. So if there is a ministry for fertilizers and this is all, we are talking about fertilizer subsidy. Why this agriculture ministry is coming into picture? This is a wrong statement. What we are left with, 1 and 3, C is the correct answer. Firstly, this is nitrogen is also part of it. Urea is not there. Thing is, urea, why it is not included? Because we already have problems with urea. Over usage of urea, over usage of nitrate. If other fertilizers are non-urea fertilizer are also provided, it also contains some part of nitrogen. There is subsidy for that nitrogen. But for urea, exactly, if chemical urea is being produced, then you have other schemes, not this nutrient based subsidy scheme. The rates and all not much important, but you can, for fun, you can look at it. Answer the 20th question first. There was a question on T-board in 2000, last year, 22. Twentieth question, what is answer? A. Correct is asked. With regards to B, any other, any other? D. C, everything open. Okay, okay. With regards to National Fisheries Development Board, consider the following. It is statutory body. It is not a statutory body. It is a simply autonomous executive body created by Ministry of XYZ. It is headquartered in Kochi, Kerala. It is not headquartered in Kochi, Kerala. It is headquartered in Hyderabad. It has international centers in Sri Lanka and Maldives. It doesn't have any international centers. This question is mostly based on the T-board question that is asked last year. This year, for this year, you study this coffee board. We already solved this in some other questions. Coffee board, you just understand, study this, because there has been a coffee bill also government has introduced. It is a statutory body under Coffee Act of 1957. There has been a coffee bill introduced. That's why we are focusing on this. For this question, all the statements are wrong. Correct answer is none of the above. I think so. No, it's in Karnataka itself, I guess. Answer the 21st question. It's also a tough question. Question is tough because there is less scope to apply so much of concept or some kind of ideas into it. This is an initiative, international counter ransomware initiative. What is the objective of this initiative? To have some standards how to operate when some ransomware virus attack happen. What is ransomware virus attack? It's a computer, how it operates? It locks the XYZ system. Now if you need to get access the data of the processes, not stealing is not the objective. It locks your data. Now if you need to unlock this, you have to pay the ransom to the XYZ people. And they will ask in bitcoins, so you cannot track the XYZ money also. All these countries are part of this initiative. Do we have any slides? Yeah. All these countries are part of initiative. Here correct answer is D. One thing, these are the list of countries which are part of it. One thing you should clearly notice, if a UPSC question comes, there can be an option like China. China is not a part of this XYZ initiative. If in options, in here options all these are. But in UPSC, if you see China, you should have to click that China is not a part of this XYZ cyber security initiative. Pakistan, you check out, most probably it will not be there. Pakistan? Pakistan hackers. Go ahead, 20-second question, answer fast. No, Pakistan is also not part of it. What is diurnal animals? What is this diurnal animals or nocturnal animals? Diurnal means active during the day and sleeping during the night. Nocturnal is active in the night and sleeping in the day. UPSC aspirants in working in all time. There is one more class, that is, what is the question? This one, right? There is one more class, that is what is this called? Crepuscular or whatever is the pronunciation. What is it? Diurnal means you are active in the day and sleeping in the night. Nocturnal means you are active in the night and sleeping in the day. This is means you are active during dusk or dawn. Rest of the time you are more interested in sleeping. Only in the dusk or dawn you will wake up and very active during this time. Elephant is a part of this. Raccoon and hedgehog, both these are nocturnal animals. See, he is sleeping. These are mostly in which country? Both these animals are not in India. This is like very factual question. These are in North America. North America, South America, American continent it is famous for. This is hedgehog is in. It's also very less found in India. It is in European region you found these animals. This is raccoon and this is the hedgehog. Both these are nocturnal animals. Here answer is 2. Elephant is mosquitoes you can add into it. Answer 23rd question first. There is some interesting facts about this report. Climate Change Performance Index, CCPI 2023. क्या मिला आंसर 23? बताओ. None of the above. What is some interesting facts about this climate change performance index? First statement is India's ranking has slipped down due to rising carbon emission. It's a very hard chance that India will slip in a climate change index. We are doing so much. We are ambitious targets. Half our electricity will be coming from these renewable energies. So India is moving aggressively in this sector. Even if you exactly know India has slipped, then only take that argument as correct. Otherwise, more chances towards India's rank will not have slipped. So this is a wrong statement. Before India's rank was 10, now it has become 8th in the 2023 report. Norway is ranked first in this index. Very interesting fact is Norway, Denmark, all these Norway. क्या नाम है? Scandinavian countries. These countries mostly rank first in many of these reports. But the very interesting fact about this report is first rank 1, 2, 3. These ranks are not allotted to any countries. They are kept vacant because nobody is performing that good. So first 3 rank will not be allotted to any countries. Top 10 in happiness index. So many index these Scandinavian countries will rank first. From 4th the ranking is starting. The index is not published by UNEP, it is published by German Watch and so many other private institutions. So these are basic facts about it. All these statements are wrong. Correct answer is none of the above. You can read basic facts regarding it here. German Watch, New Climate Institute and Climate Action Network. These 3 institutes together are publishing the XYZ index. Go ahead. See? Okay. Answer 24th question first. Quite an easy question. There are two basic things to know. What is the statement about recently infrastructure resilient accelerated fund as a part of COP27? Whatever, there are so many initiatives. I will give you the list has been outcome of COP27. Everything you should know the basic knowledge. Go to the original website UNFCCC, then collect whatever it is, learn about it from there only. So the fund has been set up. If UNFCCC is COP27 some XYZ initiative is taking, then why these G7 members are coming up in it? There is very less chance. G7 is like a small group of advanced countries. If a climate initiative, India will be part of it, most probably. Or India developing countries are all actively participating in this climate change. If climate change initiative is that, G7 doesn't have so much of a relevance. If some economic issue is being dealt, then G7 has some relevance. Climate issues, G7, very hard chance G7. This cannot be a right answer option. These funds will be used to build greenfield projects. See, this is a infrastructure resilience fund. What is infrastructure resilience? What does it mean? This is initiative by CRDI. CDRI, what it is? CDRI. Coalition of this disaster resilience initiative. Now, what exactly it stands for? The idea is climate change is anyway happening, and with this climate change, there will be increase in frequency of disasters that is happening. And this disaster will be impacting poor people in a biased way, or poor economies, or within an economy, poor communities will be affected in a biased way. So you need systems, you need research to develop which are systems which are resilient to these disasters. Objective is not to invest in greenfield projects, invest in institutional capacity, invest in research. These are the objectives. Greenfield project means you're making a new road, you are making a new home that is resilient. That is not the objective of the, it can be, but primary objective is not to get more investment into greenfield. Primary objective is research objective. Both the statements are wrong. Answer is none of the above. Go ahead, answer the. Yeah, these are a list of initiatives from COP27. All these, one way or the other, we have discussed in the class. Lead IT, all the most of the things we have discussed in the class. Take a note, take picture, note down, study all of these before prelims. Something of this, you have very high chance of coming in the exam. Excellent. Answer this question. 25th question. Cody gold nanoparticles. This has been in the test. If you have written the test, you might have seen this. What is specialty of this? Both the statement are correct. These nanoparticles are used for drug delivery, exactly correct. These nanoparticles plus some chemicals are being mixed and it is very effective for drug delivery. That's why it is famous for. This is basically a fungus. Fungus plus you give them gold salt, then this will produce this type of a fungus that can be used for XYZ applications. These are derived from parasitic fungus and gold salt. Very correct statement. Both statements are wrong for pictorial representation. You can see this. Something like mushroom. Mushrooms are basically funguses. So this is something like mushroom. You give XYZ conditions, you give this nano gold salt, then they will produce this XYZ. Go ahead. There was one statement, UPSC or our test. Nanoparticles are only produced artificially, or nanoparticles are naturally produced. This is one example, like in a fungus is even producing nanoparticles. So it doesn't need that nanoparticles will not be. This in UPSC question. हमारे टेस्ट सीरीज में क्वेश्चन को इधर दो. Fungus it is being grown like this with the XYZ conditions you provide it. The salt, its pH level, all these chemical properties you will control it and get the desired output of this. Basically it's like mushroom with special power, superpowers. Go ahead. Answer the 26th question. What is the answer? C. It's not C. D. Guessing. Blind guessing. Primary species recently discovered in Egypt. Which species? D. ठीक है. और ऑप्शंस बताओ. C. Come on. Last क्या है? All of you are wrong. It is a type of coral. What is specialty of this coral? This is also called black coral. Black coral. Usually corals where we are finding the corals? In tropical, where we find corals? Warm waters, tropical waters at shallow depth. These have special characteristics. These are found in like greater depths, not in that much shallow where you find the normal corals. It is found from heights of like 2600 feet to 26,000 feet. With varying depths it is being found. It is also called black corals because it looks something like this, deeper, and it is very much black. What is the ecological importance of this? So many species are dependent on this. One, because of this color, they make their home, they hide, whatever it is. So many, apart from what corals are doing. What corals are doing? They give this, provide food to this ecosystem. So apart from this, these are like forests of, that's why corals are also called forests of these tropical waters. All these functions are also part of these black corals. So answer here is B. Answer the 27th question. It is found by USA somewhere near in Australian waters. Very important initiative this is. Something related to Ukraine, something related to Russia. So much in news. What is the answer? B. Any other suggestion? Which two options? B and D. Which all countries are part of this Black Sea Grain Agreement? Russia, Ukraine, and one more country is there. Turkey is also part of this. These three countries coming together, objective is allows commercial food products and fertilizers to be exported from Black Sea ports. Russia recently withdrawn from this, but later on some negotiation happened and Russia told that they are not completely withdrawing. they will remain to be a part of it. That's why we are discussing this in news. That is like they are negotiating organization. These three countries are basically part of this: Russia, Turkey and Ukraine. Objective is why exactly? Because Ukraine is major exporter of wheat and other agri products. Answer 28th question. क्या आंसर है? C. Very factual question. Yuddhabhyas is between India and USA. Garuda 7 is between India and France. IMT Trilite, I already told you. It is between not Madagascar, it is Mozambique. India, Mozambique and Tanzania is part of this. So here answer is C, one only. Answer the 29th question. बताओ क्या आंसर है? 29th question it is right. B बोल रहा है. It is speaking about old pension scheme and national pension scheme NPS. What is the difference? Old pension scheme, if you are retiring with your salary is 10,000, then your pension will start at 5,000. Then according to revision, there will be increase later on. And for this pension, the employee is not contributing anything. All this amount will be coming from government only. In national pension scheme, 10% of every month employee salary will be cut and invested in the fund. Then this 10% plus government will itself, if it is a government employee, government will itself invest a 14%. This together fund will be used to give this employee the pension. So how much amount the employee get the pension depends on how much he invested. He can even withdraw from the fund before reaching the maturity, before retiring. So there are some flexibilities. And if even a non-government employee can also invest in this. So this 14% will not be there. 10% he can invest and he can also enjoy whatever pension benefits he can have. Both are contributory based pension. No, OPS is government is funding 100% OPS. So it's wrong statement. Two options we already lost. The benefit due to at the time of retirement is predefined beforehand in APS but not in NPS, correct? Because in OPS means you know 50% of your salary you will get. In NPS it will depend on so many factors, which age you entered the job, how much money you were contributing. You can contribute beyond the 10% also, then you will get higher pensions. Or you done any withdrawals, or what this government, which there is high risk, low risk also. So depending on which one you are selecting, so many other things. So this is the correct statement. Both schemes is eligible for resident Indians. OPS was only there for government employees. Or basically for government employees. New pension scheme means it's not just for government employees, anyone can. Even non-residential Indians can be a part of it. So this statement is resident only is not correct. Even non-residential Indians can also be part of this new pension scheme also, national pension scheme. NPS allow partial withdrawal during the service, which is not exactly correct. In OPS, there is nothing to withdraw. You will get the money only after retirement. In national pension scheme, you are investing into a fund which you can withdraw. Fully amount you cannot withdraw, only partial. There is some numbers. Within the limits you can withdraw from this scheme. Correct statement. So what is the answer? B is the correct answer, 2 and 4. Answer the last question for the day. Why we are asking this question? Because in 2022, Dalai Lama was conferred the Gandhi Mandela Award. Dalai Lama was given Nobel Prize or not? No. Check that out. I think there is. Recently, Gandhi Mandela Award was conferred to Dalai Lama. This was why we are discussing this. It happened in 2022. Very much correct statement. You already lost one. The award was constituted during 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Is it correct? Very much correct. The award is given by not Nobel Foundation. This you can absolutely eliminate. Nobel Foundation is, how can it give something related to Indian South African leaders? So this is not the correct answer. You will eliminate all the other options. You are only left with one option, that is 1 and 2. Okay. Huh? There is some XYZ organization, trust that is formed for this purpose. Gandhi Mandela Foundation. Gandhi Mandela Foundation Trust will be giving these awards. So that's it. It is not a government trust. It is trust means it is independent organization. Like. So that's all from now. We have discussed the 30 questions. These are basically from November 2022 current affairs. We'll continue this initiative for till prelims, whatever date it is XYZ applicable. That's all for now. Thank you so much.